the great Devin McCourty on the show. Hello, Devin.
What's up, Greg? How are we doing this morning?
Wow. Not as good as you. I think I may have sent you this in a text, but you deserve the Oscar for that Walmart commercial. I don't know if anybody's told you that or not.
You did text me that when you saw it.
Not as
Who do I need to talk to get that lined up? That's what I got to find out.
I think it's going to be between you and Tom Brady for the Pizza Hut commercial when it comes to the Oscars for commercials.
I know Rodney's pretty good too.
Yeah, Rodney is very, very, very good.
Tom's got more options, so he might beat both of us.
Well, listen, playoff football at Gillette Stadium for the first time in 6 years, Devin McCourty.
Yeah, man, I'm sad that we have the game, and I'll be in studio not to be there and witness it. But it's cool to just even be able to say that and know what the organization has gone through and be back in this situation is pretty cool.
Turnaround-wise, just real quick, Wiggy, sorry. Did you expect it this quickly when Mike Vrabel was named as head coach?
I thought they had a chance to have a good year this year. Did I think that they would be the number 2 seed in the AFC? No, I didn't. I didn't think it would get turned around to that level this fast.
Dev, I'm asking this as a fan, not as a former player. I feel like this is a game that the Patriots should be able to win. It shouldn't be a nail-biter. Am I naive to be thinking that way?
I think a little naive. I think what the Chargers, if you had to say, hey, man, the Chargers struggle with what? I think it's, how do you protect Justin Herbert? We watched the games, whether it was Philadelphia, like these different games they played, they struggle to do that. And I wouldn't say, like, when you watch the Patriots, you don't say, like, man, they really get after the quarterback with a 4-man rush. Or, like, they mix it up. They do different things. I think Milton Williams being back will be huge and Spillane being back. But I think what they struggle with, I wouldn't say is New England's best feature. So I think it has a chance to be a pretty good game. I would agree with you, though. I think they should win this game. I think they're a better team overall than the Chargers, but I think Chargers' style of play kind of fits better going against the Patriots than it does some of the other teams in the AFC.
Devin, last time Mike Vrabel coached a playoff game in Gillette Stadium, he was with the other side. You were there. What should a team expect going up against a Mike Vrabel coach team in the playoffs?
I think he'll be prepared. I think it's the preparation. And again, I think when we transition from Wiggy's question, I think that game 2019 was a prime example of we were a better team than the Tennessee Titans, but they were a bad matchup for us. The things they did well were the things we didn't do that well, running the ball and doing different things like that. So I think we should expect to see the Patriots come out and defensively, whatever we think of their pass rush, I would expect them to be aggressive early in the game to send that message of, hey, you think we're not going to be able to get after Justin Herbert? Here goes the first third down where we send 7 guys on a pressure and we make the ball come out fast and we hit Justin Herbert. Like, I always think of Vrabel as the guy that is going to attack your weaknesses. He's going to make sure that you feel that. And, I think in that game, Derrick Henry ran for like 175 yards or something, which, for that year, for our defense, as good as we were, the problem we had was stopping the run. So that's what I would expect. They're going to be able to attack some of those things. I think offensively, they're going to try to run the ball against the Chargers' too high safety look. And I think that's what the Chargers have struggled defensively when teams can run the ball.
Devin, how legitimate is the concern nationally that I'm sure you hear on NBC? By the way, record-setting year viewership, Greg, 23 million plus on Sunday Night Football.
That's all because of Devin.
It is.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's definitely not Chris Sims, but we'll do that a different day. But how legitimate is the concern nationally or the gripe nationally that the Patriots have not beaten anybody entering the playoffs?
I mean, nationally, yeah, but I think football people are like, that doesn't matter now. Like, I don't care if you come into the playoffs and you had the hardest strength of schedule and you're like, hey, man, we got in and we're here. Like, no one cares about what you did in the regular season once you get to the playoffs. Like, it's all about who's playing the best football. How do you find ways to go out there and win? Like, that to me is what matters the most. So I think some of that viewpoint is outside of the game. It's people that like, hey, we need a topic to talk about with the Patriots. Are they really as good as the 2 seed above? Like, yeah, I mean, if you don't think they're that good as a 2 seed from the regular season, then so be it. I won't argue with you, but I think right now, if you can tell me, hey, we're going to be the New England Patriots, we're playing some of our best ball, I think you should be fully confident you can go in and win games. So whether that's them, that's Jacksonville, that's Houston, these teams that have gotten hot towards the end of the season and played well, that means more to me than like your strength of schedule. Like no one cares that you had to play like the Lions, the Eagles, and like all of these other teams if like you're playing bad football now, because that to me will show up more than anything.
Do you feel the same way when it comes to the MVP and the knock on Drake as opposed to Matthew Stafford when it comes to schedule and who he's played?
No, I don't know if I've ever heard someone bring up the MVP race and say, well, that person, their strength of schedule is bad. Hey, man, that guy right there, that quarterback, man, he just played against the worst secondaries. And I felt like I don't remember ever that being like a main topic when we talk about the MVP race. Like we look at these guys' seasons, we look at their stats, we look at, what big moments they had. Like obviously we always look at the end of the year, what big games, like Stafford and those guys going to lose at Atlanta. Like that's not a strength of schedule problem. Like Atlanta wasn't a great team this year, but to me, I think when you look at that race, you should take a moment and get out of like the present day. Like soon as they lost to Atlanta, everybody's like, well, Stafford can't win the MVP. Well, like, hold on, let's go back and look at the whole season and then evaluate both candidates for the whole season and then see where you land. Like to me, Drake May is just as much of an MVP as Stafford is if you're going to pick him by the stats, what you saw. Like, I don't think you should be like, man, well, he didn't play a stronger schedule. Because then if you're going to do that, well, let's look at common opponent and see what each guy did. So I think you can keep looking at different things. You just got to go off what you watch, what you go back and watch, and then pick the MVP candidate from that.
Dev, one of the things that I'm always torn with when it comes to the playoffs is, a team that has been there before and has the experience versus a team that doesn't have as much experience, where the Patriots doesn't have as much experience with players. When you look at it, is there an advantage, in your opinion, for the team that might have a little bit more playoff experience?
Man, it's always tough. Every time I get this question, all I hear in the back of my mind is that first meeting entering the playoffs, and Bill comes in there and he goes, man, if you're going to come here and tell me about playoff experience, I'm going to tell you right now, it's bullshit. Just bullshit. And like every time I would hear that, and now I get asked a question, I'm like, yeah, I mean, at times experience, like I do. I think there's teams that you get in certain situations and you might end up down 10 points at the half. Like, I don't think there's a panic. There's a sense of we've been here before, we can come back. But then we watched Jaden Daniels and the Commanders last year, and they get all the way to the NFC Championship game, and they go on the road and they beat Detroit. Like, and then I'm like, well, damn, like, yeah, they had some guys who had experience, but like the main guy that we all look at is the quarterback. He had no playoff experience. So, I mean, I think it can be a factor, but I think teams that like the Patriots, like you have this young quarterback, a lot of guys who haven't been in that situation or guys that have been in the playoffs on other teams, so not together. Like, I don't think it has to matter. You go out there and you're hitting on all cylinders and you're moving the ball and you're playing good defense. Like, that experience doesn't matter. Like, it's just football at the end of the day. It's just knowing, I think, and you can have a coach that allows you and lets you know what's the difference in the playoffs. These teams are going through every single game you played. There's no like, man, we don't know. Like, we got this big matchup next week, so now we're splitting our attention. Like, no, the playoffs is locked in preparation. One game, you're putting it all in. Like, that to me was always a difference of the playoffs. Like, you turned over every stone for that one game, where in the regular season you had to have longevity. You had to last a whole season. Now that's out the door. But once the ball's kicked off, it's football. Like, you got to go win and play good football.
Devin, but Super Bowl 51, I feel like if you guys had never had playoff experience, I mean, that team, I thought, embodied not panicking, knowing what to do, knowing that you couldn't get all the points back on one drive. Like, would you say that you were benefited at least in that Super Bowl, that you guys had all sort of been there before?
Yeah, what I do think is hard is like, yes, that works for some guys. And then some guys that don't have that experience, they just follow what the other guys do. But like I always talk about that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was won by our head coach coming in there and saying, halftime's different. We're going to practice halftime. Like we literally went on the field and we did halftime in practice. And then we sat on the sideline and the coaches got up, the offense and the defense. The specialists went with the special teams coach, and we did like 5 minutes of breaking down what it looked like at the beginning of practice, what we want to end of practice. Like we took a good 20 to 25 minutes to practice halftime. So when we got in that game, everybody, whether you played in the Super Bowl before or not, you were like, man, I remember we practiced this, and you went straight into your halftime routine and what you needed to do. And then now you get guys telling you like, hey, we just got to keep playing. And guys did that. But I think without actually practicing halftime and guys knowing, we would have went in that locker room and would have been just defeated, which Atlanta did. They went in the locker room and they just celebrated like they won because they were so stuck in the moment. So I do think there's different people that are involved in this that can help you and kind of be that barrier or bridge, I should say, for, you know, the guys that don't have the playoff experience.
Greg has always dominated halftime.
You know, Devin, what's interesting is that, and that's why, like, Bill Belichick is probably one of the greatest coaches of all time, because who would ever think about that? Like, who would ever think, like, let's practice halftime in these situations?
Yeah, like, and that was a crazy thing. Like, he, in our morning meeting, he talked about it. Hey, halftime is 25 minutes compared to 12 minutes. So there's going to be a whole halftime act, and then they got to take the stage off. Sometimes there's smoke and all that other stuff in the air. Sometimes it feels different. So we're like, okay, you're sitting in your seat, you're listening, and then you go on the field and you practice it. It's just a totally different feeling. And I've done that all 5 Super Bowls I've played in. So yes, like to that extent, the guys that had that, it's your 3rd or 4th Super Bowl, you've done that. So like, all right, it's not as new to you, but like there's also a thing of, man, that person that's done it a bunch of times can kind of forget about it and just go through the motions. But for the younger guy, you're so locked in because you're like, man, this is real. Like we are in at this long halftime. So I think it goes back and forth. And I think having a Mike Vrabel, who's been in it, not a Super Bowl as a coach, but he's been in the conference championship as a coach. He's played in multiple Super Bowls as a player. Like, I think how he relays that to his staff and his staff to the players and then him to the players, like, I think that can go a long way in having a playoff run. And you also have Josh McDaniels, who's been there from an offensive side with different teams and done like, so I do think they have a good blend of different guys that can help them along the way.
So, Devin, you bring up Josh McDaniels there. I saw you speaking with Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk earlier this week, discussing the coaching vacancy with the Arizona Cardinals. And Florio saying perhaps there would be some interest in Josh McDaniels for that vacancy. Do you think that's a possibility? And do you think Josh McDaniels, with the work he's done this year with Drake May in this offense, is going to be getting a lot of attention during this coaching cycle?
It's weird. I don't think he'll get a lot of attention. I don't. I think he's a guy who's had 2 opportunities. And I think even if he does get interest, let's say Arizona is interested, I think from, you know, my conversations with him is I think he only leaves if he thinks that it's the best situation. So I look at an Arizona that doesn't really have a quarterback that is there that, you know, is going to be there for a long-term future. I honestly don't even think he would probably consider going to Arizona because he's now seeing what that feels like. His family is situated in Massachusetts. But I do think this is a unique year that there's no Ben Johnsons and there's no big names there's no Mike Vrabels that, you know, we've talked about all year as like the next head coaches. It's, you see, like my guy at NBC, my guy Jason Garrett had an interview. Mike McCarthy's had an interview. John Harbaugh's name is a huge name that's on there. Teams are waiting to see what's going to happen with Mike Tomlin possibly, or possibly a LaFleur. Stefanski's a big name. Like, it seems like it's going to be a lot of guys who have had coaching experience, whether, you know, they just got fired or they've been fired a few years ago. It does feel like teams are moving more in that direction than like the new guy. So you never know. But I think Josh, I think he's happy in New England right now. And I think he knows he should only leave if there's a good chance to be successful And I think that comes from ownership all the way down to the roster.
I think, and that's a perfect kind of like segue into the way I see it. I see him having success again next year with Drake May, and then him either landing in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow or Green Bay with Jordan Love, established quarterback. Because that, I think, that's what kind of killed him in the past, his past two jobs. He got to Denver, and it was Jay Cutler, who was basically a head case, and then he got to Vegas, and it was a washed-up Derek Carr. Yeah,
and I agree, and I think the second part of that is what does your front office situation look like? I think that's a huge part that when these jobs open up, no one fully talks about. But like, what are the decisions that you get to make? Like when you go down to Vegas, like is everybody behind getting rid of Derek Carr? And then if they are, what does everybody think of who the next quarterback's going to be? Like what do they think we need to do? What do we need to trade? What assets do we have that we can give up to go get a guy? And I think when you're trying to get that next head coaching position and you just want to take it no matter what, I think it's a lot harder compared to when you're saying, you know what, I'm not leaving because I'm making a good amount of money here. It's a good situation, and I'm only leaving when I think is right. And we look now at the Chicago Bears. We look at Ben Johnson. He skipped one or two coaching cycles because he said, that doesn't make sense. I don't like the quarterback position. I don't like the front office. Whatever it was, he didn't leave, and now he gets to Chicago. You get a Caleb Williams. You get a front office that fully supports what you want to do because you have that leverage because you've been good for now 3 years in a row as a coordinator. So I think for me, from now being out of it and seeing some of these teams and how they operate, that would be my main thing. Like you said, Wiggy, quarterback situation and what does the front office actually look like?
I don't want to ruin a big moment on television in advance, but are you picking the Pats in this one?
Come on, man. Have I picked against the Pats on Sunday Night Football yet this year? Okay. I'm their good luck charm.
All right. Okay, good.
I'm their good luck charm. Right.
Well, enjoy Dev on Sunday Night Football because he won't be there long. He's going I could tell he's going what's the boy from the Boston College, Matt Ryan route. This kid's going to be a GM one day.
Oh, really?
Director of player personnel.
Oh, really?
Watch, I'm telling you. Him and his brother, they know a lot about the football world. And those guys.
You hoping they bring you along?
Right. This is a preemptive attempt for a job.
Some kind of a role for Coach Wiggins?
No. I don't not want no part of that. But you start to see that a lot of these teams, they go after these guys, these former players that know the game and see the game from the other side. Because I didn't even think about the front office stuff until Dev brought that up.
Dev, you haven't seen, I don't think you've seen Wiggy in a while. You know what he's doing? One meal a day. That's it.
Now, Wiggy, you're not starving all day?
No, I take my shot and I need to do it because if not, I'll be like 400 pounds. And then you see me, you'll be like, damn.
So he's on the GLP. He's got 2 GLP. Yes. GLP 2.
Yes.
And then he says he only has one meal a day.
If Serena Williams can do it, I can do it.
Okay.
Okay, Wiggy, let's get it done then.
I'm like down like 40, so I need like 10 more to go.
Like 40.
Yeah, Greg, stop being a hater. You sound like a hater in the back.
I'm jealous. It's jealousy.
Yeah, but Greg has a weight loss journal.
I know. I have a wellness journal. I started a wellness journal in the new year, Devin. Wait till you see me at the marathon party. Be tip-top shape.
Is a wellness journal is that working out or is that just writing down?
It's just writing down things. I don't do any work. Writing down. I write down what I hope I'm going to do that day, and then I never do it. I write down salad for lunch, and then I get a pizza. That's the way it
should really mix in a salad.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I really appreciate this, but I appreciate you taking the time for us because you're always great to the show, and appreciate you taking the time this morning, Devin McCourty, and can't wait for Sunday night to get here. I'll tell you that much.
No problem. Hey, the next time you have Nico on, tell him I say he doesn't know anything about football.
Yeah, he said 42 to 10.
I'll save that.
He called 42-10 on this game, Pats.
I just said he doesn't know anything about football. He's a defensive lineman. They don't know anything about football. He's going to be so pissed.
He's going to be pissed at you. You'll get a text in 5 minutes. All right. Devin, thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
All right. That is the great Devin McCourty.